Good evening, everyone. So, welcome again to our Tuesday of Learnings. So, tonight, our topic is all about basic guide to real estate brokers on how to set up a brokerage firm. Okay? So, the reason why I share this topic because karamihan sa mga kaibigan natin, may mga na-experience akong broker na after they graduated from being a agent salesperson to a licensed broker, biglang nagtayo agad ng brokerage firm. Pagkatapos, 1 year, 2 years after, nag-corporate in-house na lang sila kasi hindi nila nakaya yung expenses of running a brokerage firm. So, maraming mga ups and down, no, story tayong mga na-experience na witness sa mga kaibigan natin. Kaya we decided to come up with this topic para at least we can help share naman yung mga common experience ng mga success story tsaka failure also, mga challenges of setting up your brokerage firm. So just a disclaimer lang muna, uh, tonight topic is all about educational purpose lang, no? So based on our experience, so lahat ng mga numbers, figures, you can always double check it. Tsaka yung mga tips natin dito is subject that you need to validate also on your own from other professionals. Okay? So tonight learnings is by the end of these sessions, anong mga makukuha nyo is you will learn anong magandang business entity para sa brokerage firm ko. Should I put up a single, partnership, or corporation? Paano ko ba malaman yung, let us say, if yung operational expense ko is 50,000 per month, at magkano ba dapat ibenta ko monthly para to break even with my expenses? So yung P&L natin, profit and loss, no? Tsaka, paano ba yun mag-create ng normal cash flow pagdating sa brokerage firm? Pagdating sa ahente, ano ba yung standard procedures? May mga procedure ba, template ba, structure? Pagdating sa recruitment, sa commission sharing, may mga ano ba, no? So, pag we will discuss that also, you will learn something, no? And the most important tonight, share ko sa inyo yung mga common problems in running your own brokerage office. Okay? Yung mga dispute, penalties, and etc. etc. Marami. Marami. So mamaya abangan natin on the last part, no? So a little bit parang storytelling lang yung discussion natin. Mas maganda para mas marami kayong maintindihan. You don't need to memorize, you need only to understand. So allow me to start yung journey ko sa real estate. So I started real estate 2007, kumbaga by accident lang to. My mother is also into real estate during ano pa yan, sa 80s na wala pang mga license at that time, no? I did not follow right away the footstep of my mom because negative yung experience ko noon. Kumbaga, pag-uwi ng mother ko, na-feel ko yung mga frustration, away nilang mga mag-ahente, nag-away-away sa sharing ng commission. Sabi ko, pangit ng real estate. But on 2007, by accident, it was reintroduced to me, nakita ko, may pera pala sa real estate. Akala ko kasi walang pera sa real estate. So I tried it, and the next 5 years, I created a blueprint, no? How I need to, kumbaga, ano yung journey ko sa real estate for the next 5 weeks, yung 208, 209, more forward. And then I experienced up and down naman sa ano ko. Then I served our organization too early as local chapter president in Pareb Sereb 2015, and 2016 I served the national hanggang nagiging very famous pandemic national president ng Pareb 2020, no? So that's my journey. So I become a project sellers for 8 years, and I become another more on resale market, secondary market for the next 7 years of my practice. So, medyo halo-halo naranasan natin yung macro-micro problem ng real estate practice. So ngayon, basic journey. So allow me to start with this. Pag gumaduate ka, nagiging broker ka, there are few things no na mga journey, career journey ng broker. Like ng anak ko, when he become licensed, pumasa sa RED exam just early this year, sabi ko, ano bang gusto mo? Maging corporate broker ka or entrepreneurial broker? So what's the difference? Corporate broker ka, you need to be an in-house. Nasa sales and marketing ka ba? Or nasa admin ka? Kasi magkaiba ang direction yan. Or if you want to be an entrepreneurial broker, are you gonna focus on the primary market, which is the project selling? Or are you gonna focus on the secondary market, which is the resell or the rental leasing? Or you want to be like some of our colleagues na masyadong hilig talaga nila magturo na sa academy sila at saka yung others, no? So, ito yung mga pinagpipilian. So, my son now is on in-house sales. So, pina-experience ko muna sa, muna siya, corporate as an in-house broker. So ngayon, choosing your business entity and registration. The goal is we need to discuss ano ba yun? Kasi when I started yung advice ng bookkeeper ko, accountant that time, automatic corporation. Okay, corporation, yun ang advice. So yung iba naman, single proprietorship. Yung iba naman, partnership. Those were the days na the GPP hindi na-introduce sa akin. Ano ba yung GPP? General Professional Partnership. Still under SEC, but we will elaborate more kasi karamihan alam natin single prop, partnership, corporation, may GPP pala, no? So, what is GPP? Okay? So, isa-isahin natin. Pag single proprietorship ka, ikaw ang may-ari, no? Income tax, yes, not the entity. It is you as a person being taxable on the income tax, subject to withholding tax, no? So, liability-wise sa iyo lahat. Malinaw, no? Single prop, gamit mo yung personal TIN number mo. So, the income tax, the withholding is subject to you as an individual. The partnership, it's parang ano din yan, I'm not an accountant, by the way, by practice and profession, ha. Na-experience ko lang to na dati I registered as a corporate. Then, under the corporation, natamaan tayo. Kasi if you're into registering in the single proprietorship, tsaka corporation, take note sa mga nakikinig. Di ba, bago niyo natanggap yung commission niyo from the developer, let us say 100,000. Yung commission nyo, subject to withholding na. Either binawasan kayo ng 5% or binawasan kayo ng 10%. So, example case, 100,000 commission receivable, binawasan ka ng 10% withholding tax. So, 90 na lang natanggap mo. Ngayon, i-split mo pa yan, ibibigay mo pa yung share ng salesperson mo. Let us say yung salesperson mo is sales director level na. 4/5. So meaning, that is 80% of a broker's commission. So, magkano ang share ng ahente? Mag-base ba yung computation mo sa 100,000? So, if nag-base ka sa 100,000, di 80,000 bigay mo sa kanya. Or mag-base ka ba sa 90,000? Kasi yun lang net na tanggap mo after the less ng withholding. Then, times 80% of that, that's 72,000. So magreklamo naman si ahente. Diyan pa lang, may error na. Next question is, for you to declare that commission as an expense, dapat mag-withhold ka din sa share ng ahente mo. So, let us say, nagbigay ka ng 80,000, balik tayo doon sa first sample. 10% of that is 8,000. So, if you try to check, from developer to your brokerage office, nag-withhold ng 10,000 based on the 100,000 gross receipt. Gross invoice. Next, yung 80,000 na share ng agent mo, nag-withhold ka ulit ng 8,000. So magkano napunta kay BIR? 18,000. Dapat sana yung withhold, ano mo, kasi ang kita mo nasa 20,000 lang naman, no? So, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a bookkeeper, but sabi nila, it's not a double withholding. It's not a double taxation kasi iba-iba ang business entity ng developer to your realty office to your agent. So, that time, I experienced also na napadalhan ako ng love letter ng BIR because parang lumiit na kasi ang commission ng ahente, hindi ako nag-withhold on my early practice, no, 10 years ago. So, hindi pinayagan ni BIR na ma-declare expense yung commission kasi hindi ako nag-withhold sa mga income ng ahente ng RESP natin. After I paid settle my liability with BIR, sila din nag-advise sa akin na why not go into GPP. So what is GPP? Tanong ko noon. GPP is just like the accounting firm, the law firm. So professional joining together for their services, professional services, no? So general professional partnership, iba yan sa ordinary partnership. So you can do research more about the GPP, but in-highlight ko lang dito na under our profession as a licensed broker, the best is we do the GPP. If we are into service, iba na lang if we're into rental, leasing, and development. Corporation is the best. But if we are into our brokerage service as a professional service, most advisable is GPP. Why? Because lahat ng commission natin na matatanggap from developer, walang bawas na withholding because we're exempt from withholding the entity. It is the partners. It's the partners when we release the commission to the partners, to the associate, tsaka na tayo magbawas ng withholding sa kanila based on their, is it 5% to 10%? Okay? So, ang point ko lang dito is, please kindly double check with your bookkeeper and accountant what is GPP all about? Paano natin ma-maximize being a GPP? Because GPP, the income pass to partners. No withholding tax on the distribution on the entity. So GPP exempt from income tax, only files into information return. So I myself, medyo nahirapan ako nito on my early years kasi the developers mismo, parang bago din sa kanila. But I've been using this entity for more than 5 years already and it helps a lot, no? Kasi buo natin nakukuha yung commission tsaka isang bawas na lang pagdating natin sa mga ahente. So from my partnership, from my SOLA, Samuel Olao Associate, 100,000. Then I share it to my sales director 80%. So 80,000 minus the withholding 10% or 5%. I filed it for the BIR, no? I think Form 2307, I think ang bigay ng finance namin dyan sa mga ahente namin, yung RESP natin. So again, so under this category, please kindly review the business entity I'm sharing to you to practice as general professional partnership. But paano Sam, if ako lang nag-iisa, I'm only one, wala akong kaano. So maybe this is the time for you to collaborate with other friends. Kaklase mo, kasabayan mo sa exam, no? To partner with your practice. Okay, next. So key insight. Withholding tax always applies with clients pay for services like 5%, 10%. When I talk to my bookkeeper, yung mga ahente natin na hindi kumita ng, kumbaga parang may sworn statement sila na di sila kumita more than 250,000 a year para wala silang withholding, no? Pero then yung kumita ng 250,000 above, less than 3 million is subject to 5% withholding. Tsaka yung 3 million above is 10% withholding. Paki-double check lang yan, no? Parang yun ang naalala ko on our discussion with my accountant. So, sole prop and GPP, no entity level income tax. Income tax directly to the owners, to the partners. Partnership and corporation, tax at entity level. Then distribution may be hit with additional dividend withholding tax. GPP is very unique. Tax only at the partner level, unlike an ordinary partnership. Okay? So again, this is just a sharing based on my experience practice. Double check it kasi pag based on my experience, it helps a lot in terms of maximizing the income of a broker and the salesperson. Our next topic tonight is paano ba ma-measure yung potential income cash flow if you run a brokerage firm or office. Tsaka, paano ba natin ma-compute yung break-even? So, let's define, no? Goal is build a simple cash flow model to avoid surprises and set sales target. Map your costs, your fixed monthly costs like office rent, utilities, salaries, variable costs, no? Marketing, social media, snacks, during the meeting. So, let's put it this example. Let us say si Binet, no? Si Broker Binet, nagtayo siya ng opisina. Nag-rent siya sa isang CBD area, mura lang, pinakamura 15,000, maliit na studio. Okay? 15,000. Of course, pag nag-opisina ka, dapat may staff ka. Kasi kung nag-opisina ka lang for office purposes, then wala kang staff, better not an office. Home base ka na lang, no? We'll discuss this more, no? Then, meron kang utilities like electric, water, telephones, Wi-Fi, let's say 10,000. Another 10,000 for miscellaneous like snacks, office consumable, more or less, you have an expense of 50,000. So let's review again, ha? What is this sum? Do I really need an office? Based on my experience, because in the last 16 years practice, naranasan ko mag-corporate expansion. During the time I'm using corporation, I open outside Cebu, no? Naranasan ko din yung partnership. I have a partner in Dumaguete and some other. Okay? So, but again, if let us say, let's put another example, Broker Ana. Pag si Broker Ana, nag-practice lang siya ng secondary market or the resale market or brokerage, common layman's term natin. Kailangan ba niya ng opisina? Sabi nga ng mentor ko, pag brokerage ang kay ano mo Sam, dapat you need to network a lot with fellow brokers. So dapat active ka sa organization, dapat active ka sa field to network with them para to solicit MLS, no, listing, or to visit new listing to validate, verify the listing nga binibigay ng fellow broker, tsaka yung binibigay ng mga ahente mo or mga researcher mo kasi ikaw yung broker. So you need to be actively in the field. Dapat meron kang very, very functional na sasakyan. Not necessarily bago, but dapat functional. Tsaka dapat meron kang system how to file your listing in real time. As of now, we do it in a clouds or website or in a social media. Or then when you go home, sa bahay, dapat meron kang tinatawag natin na work at home office setup, no? Just like now, we're doing Zoom. I'm doing Zoom in my house. So if I am doing brokerage early in the morning, if I go out, ride on my car, go like for example, this morning, I go out 7:30, I pick up my client, we do a site tour, a little bit 3 hours away, then tinignan yung resort, after that, came back another 3 hours, so naubos yung oras namin on the road, no? And then, this afternoon, I'm doing my Zoom meeting. So, if you are into secondary market, you don't need an office. You need only be active in the organization or you can always be present in the office of your local chapter para mabilis yung networking mo. Ngayon, Sam, if I wanted to put up an office para lang because I wanted to build a salesperson network. Okay, salesperson network. Balikan muna natin, Sam. I want to practice brokerage, but I also wanted to practice primary market, the project selling. Okay, based on my experience, if you're going to practice both primary and secondary market, you still don't need an office, Miss Cyril, no, or Mr. Jake. Because if you go into projects, you can use the office and the workplace of the developer. Libre pa yung cookies, snacks, and coffee with drinks, no? So, meet your client in the office of the developer. Do presentation. Use a site tour. Pag site tour, may showroom, may pagkain pa. So again, as independent broker, practicing project selling, practicing brokerage, you don't need office. Dagdag natin, rental leasing. Again, as individual broker, you don't need office. Maybe you can do share an office, co-share an office, especially you are in your local board. Yung mga local board chapter natin ay meron na silang tinatawag na share an office, no? So do it. I highly recommend better to have a share an office with your local chapter para it's easy for you to do networking with fellow brokers. Now, it is another story kung si lady wanted to do a salesperson network. Kumbaga, mag-build up siya ng mga ahente niya because you need an office. So, ito ngayon yung topic natin. So, kumuha siya ng maliit na office for a startup, very conservative, 15. Of course, you need to have a staff. So, more or less, to operate a small office, 50,000 is a very conservative. A medium-sized office, 100,000. A big-sized office, operational, is 150,000 to 200,000. Mind you, as lumalaki yung mga salespeople mo, network, kailangan mo mag-add ng more space. Kailangan mo mag-add ng more staffs, to more tauhan, no, employees to support your office operation also. So may mga additional expenses yan. Hindi madali, no? So let's go next slide. I'll show to you. Let us say in your monthly, how to compute. If your monthly operational cost is 50,000, then yung commission ni, let's say, ni Alvin is 5%. How to compute your break-even? Sabi niya ni broker Alvin, madali lang yan, Sam. 50,000, makabenta lang ako ng 1 million, done. 5% of that is 50,000 na, di ba? Okay, congratulations. 1 million, 5%, 50,000, bayad na office ko. Meaning, that's it. What if I can sell more than 1 million, which is nothing is 1 million in the broker? Then kita ko na. Question ngayon, kung si broker Alvin, siya din lang magbebenta, sa kanya pa rin yung 5%, ba't mo pa hayaan may expenses ka na 50,000? Mag-home office ka na lang. Di ba? The reason nag-home office tayo because mayroon tayong ahente. So, let's not use our own personal effort to handle the expenses, to address the operational expenses of our office. Dapat kikitain yan doon sa salesperson network mo, override. Kasi kung ikaw din lang magtrabaho, bakit ka pa mag-office? Nabawasan ka pa tuloy 50,000 per month. Okay, let's go to the next. Okay. Sam, nagbigay ako sa mga ahente ko, RESP ko, ng 2.5%. Okay, congratulations. Start up lang po yan. Sa ngayon, with a very competitive world, sa mga ahente, ang bigayan is start up 2.5. Mamaya i-discuss natin yung structure. So let's compute ngayon the break-even. Madali lang, Sam. Sabi ni sample, Angie. 50,000, benta lang kami ng 2 million, Sam. The 2.5 is 50,000. Okay, congratulations. Ganun lang kasimple, no? So yung ahente niya dapat magkaroon lang ng 2 million sales a month times 2.5, covered na yung 50,000 expenses. Balikan natin yan mamaya. So in more than 2 million, profit na po yan. Yes, correct. Correct or no? It depends. Ang sagot ko dyan. Maya, we will discuss that one. But again, it could be correct or it could be no. Mamaya, no? Maybe. Let's go to more challenging. In the long run, you need to be conservative. Because yung mga ahente mo na entry level, sooner or later, you're going to promote them. Career growth. Magiging manager, magiging director. And in the common practice ngayon, director is 4%, yung iba nga 4.5 pa, no? Wag lang natin sagad, no? 4% lang tayo para may 1% override pa si broker. So, 1% na lang ang kita ni broker to be reality override because ibibigay na niya 4% sa mga salesperson niya. So 50%, magkano ibebenta para to get a 50,000 commission? So magkano ibenta mo, Priya? 5 million. Yes, 5 million. Kasi 1% of 5 million is 50,000. So you covered already the cost of operating an office. Very simple. So in more than 5 million, profit. Kuha natin? Okay. But again, this is the question. So simple, if the commission is released lump sum. But we know in project selling, not all commission is released the next month. You recruited salesperson because you're building up a network of agents to sell SMDC, to sell DMCI, to sell primary homes and other projects. And majority, the equity is payable in 3 years to 5 years. And the commission also is payable in 3 years to 5 years. So dito karamihan nagkakamali ang mga ahente. Like Angie, like Aryan, like Alvin, tsaka iba-iba pa, no? So dito sila nagkakamali. I'll show you ngayon yung concern natin dito. The next, I'll show it here. You see, yung 5,000, akala mo, it will break even your 50,000 OPEX. Hindi. Because yung 50,000 mo, if it is 3 years receivable, ang papasok sa wallet mo per month is only 1,388. Masyadong malayo sa 50,000 mo na needed pangbayad sa OPEX mo monthly. Lalo na if you are focusing sa mga project na 5 years to pay, yung 50,000 mo, yung 5 million mo, 1% 50,000 mo is divide 60. So not even 1,000 per month. So question, how many 5 millions ang kailangan mo para to break even? Dito karamihan nagkamali ang mga broker friends natin because akala nila with that benta, they can collect and they can pay para pangbayad sa OPEX nila. Di nila na-compute na staggered commission, milestone commission. May iba, buti nga ito monthly. Yung iba pa dyan, release in next 5 years, 3, milestone upon hitting 5%, then upon hitting 15%, upon hitting 20%, and then may retention pa 10% upon loan takeout or upon turnover na talaga bayaran na. So, how to be conservative in your operation sa brokerage office mo or realty office mo para hindi ka mag-negative in your monthly OPEX, yung expenses mo, or else baka mangutang ka, baka magsangla ka pa, ikaw tuloy, sinangla mo yung R, hindi mo natubos, you cannot be pronounced broker kasi wala ng R. So broke ang dating. So okay, so this is the formula ngayon. To compute break-even, the focus project, let us say nag-focus ngayon si Arlo ng 3 years to pay. Okay ha, let's focus 3 years to pay na mga project. Let's say nag-focus siya DMCI na 3 years ang bayaran ng equity, 3 years to pay din yung commission monthly. Example for discussion purpose. So since 3 years ang pinili mo, you compute your monthly 50,000 times 3 years. So that is 180,000, 1.8 million. 1.8 million, since ang override mo conservative 1%, dapat yung target mo is 180 million. So ang question ngayon is, you set up an office, how soon you need to hit the break even? Is it 3 months, 6 months? Di ba nagtayo ka ng negosyo? hindi naman automatically next month bawi ka na, no? Or break even ka na. There is what we call, kumbaga, pinapahinog mo pa. So, sinabi natin, in the brokerage office, maybe 6 months, I need to hit that one para on 7-year onward, yung receivable ko, enough already to pay my 50,000 expenses per month. Nakuha natin. So, let's say, gusto ni Carlo ng 5 months. So, yung hit target niya, 36 million sales quota per month para times 5. Ma-hit niya in 6 months yung 180. Or let us say conservative, 10 months, 18 million per month. Or masyadong mabilis, nakuha lang in 2 months. Congratulations. So, what happened? In on the, let's say, na-hit ni Carlo on the 5 months. And then, ang releasing ng commission is monthly. So, mangyari niyan, let's double check. 180 times 1% is 1.8 million. Divide 36 months, magkanong natanggap ni Carlo monthly? It's 50,000 per month. Again, may pangbayad na siya sa expenses niya monthly. Nakuha natin. So, this is to compute your break-even. So, this is the formula that I'm using, but you can always double-check, improve, enhance this one, no? So, why you show it this one? Para alam mo, kailan ka mag-break-even on your monthly expenses. Beyond that sales, kita ka na. Kung beyond that sales, kita ka na. Okay? Kasi kung isasama mo yung personal benta mo as a broker, ba't ba kailangan may bawas ka pa 50,000 per month kung ikaw din lang ang nagtrabaho, nagpagod para ipangbayad sa expenses mo sa opisina mo na 50,000? Huwag ka na lang magbigay 50,000 expense. Home base ka na lang, wala ka pang gastos na 50,000. Baka nasa 5 to 10,000 lang, no? So, I think very clear that one. So, you can just, babalik-balikan lang natin yung numbers, no? Practice that one, screenshot that one. So, with this example, pag na-hit mo yan, Carlo, broker Carlo, on the 5th month, on the 6th month onward, may 50,000 ka na per month. So, if you continue to sell, lalong, kumbaga, profit na yan. Kasi whatever increase on receivable minus your 50, that is your positive income already. As long you control your expenses. Baka tumaas nga, nagdagdag ka naman ng additional expenses. Baka umutang ka ng bagong sasakyan. Baka kumuha ka ng additional employee, no? Which is very careful. Control mo dapat yung expenses. You need to measure your P&L, profit and loss, your money in versus money out. You cannot measure success kung wala kang recording properly, no? Garbage in, garbage out. Bahala na kayo paano nyo explain yan. Now, let's go to the next topic. On our real estate salesperson, what's the common structure, commissions, and policy? So allow me to share based on experience. So our ESP, they must be accredited under the licensed broker. And they must keep current RESP roster under PRC, no? With valid government ID. Tsaka kasama na natin dito yung sa DSOD kasi because they're also into project selling. So dapat iklaro natin yung mga scope of work sa kanila, tsaka yung assignment, no? Kanya-kanya naman tayo dyan. Dito ang importante. I'm based on my experience dealing with other broker, common entry ngayon nasa 2.5 to 3%. Common entry. Even the in-house ngayon sa mga developer, common entry is 3% to 3.5. Yung mga, they call it property specialist, project specialist, iba-ibang terms, no? So, naglalaro yung entry level ng 2.5 to 3.5. But in some practices, to 2.5, promoted to 3.5, promoted to 4. Yung iba hanggang 4.5 or 4.7. So, yung minsan may mga terms silang tinatawag na SM stand for sales manager or property specialist, and then SM stand for senior sales manager, and then SD stands for sales director. So, if you are into 3 level, 4 level, iba-iba ang tawag. Yung iba nga dyan, tawag nila BP. No? So, instead director, tawag nila BP na ang tawag nila. No? So, bahala kayo how to brand your ranking. But in common practice ngayon, is 2.5 to 3 is common entry level ng mga RESP. Tsaka yung mga upper level natin, ng pinaka-top bago magiging broker, is nasa 4 to 4.7. Which is yes, totoo po yun. Meron akong ahente na 4, umalis sa akin kasi somebody, colleagues natin in the industry, ginawa siyang, anong term tawag sa kanila doon, basta binigyan siya ng 4.5. Inisip ko na lang, paano kaya mag-survive yung broker niya for the 0.5% na override na lang to shoulder all the other expenses sa opisina pa niya. Okay? So, yung sample nga lang natin, 1%. Let us say naman sa brokerage deal, kung sinama natin yung mga salesperson natin sa brokerage deal, like secondary market, what's the usual referral fees practices? Under the Realtors Org, I meet recently the area also where I'm the speaker, is 20 to 25% ang laro nila sa referral fee. Meaning, nag-refer sila ng client, name, contact, email, that's it, na ito yung gusto. After that, wala silang hardcore na participation, purely referral. Okay? But in a common practice natin in the industry, it's 10 to 30%. Kumbaga, it's not, kumbaga, walang nakasulat in our ethics dyan, but it's a common practice na naglalaro sa 10 to 30% yung referral fee. Ngayon, how about the splitting of commission? Splitting of commission is for the broker to broker is 50-50. But for some licensed accredited salesperson na medyo manager level na or sales director level mo na, you can also play around 40-60. Or if you're comfortable kasi trusted senior agents mo na sa opisina mo, tinuruan mo na, has been there for years na sa'yo, some of my colleagues give already 50-50. I myself, I shared 50-50 already of one of my sales director been with me for 10 years. Hindi nga lang siya maging broker kasi ayaw na niya mag-aral. But yung knowledge niya minsan mas marunong na sa broker pagdating sa due diligence. Kasi 10 years na siya sa atin, no? And he's also accredited sa PRC as a salesperson. So again, I'm just sharing you, but you can do on your own. At saka, always inform your team, your salesperson, na itong sharing natin are gross. These are all subject to government taxes and other charges na you charge under your office kasi hindi talaga sapat yung 1%. Imagine mo na lang, you have your income tax return, you have your BIR payables, then meron ka pang yearly sa LGU na business tax na babayaran and business renewal na babayaran. So the 1%, it's not enough. So that's why in my office, I also charge na office service charge na 10% para pang dagdag tulong sa expense sa opisina, salary, rentals, business taxes, and others. So, but it must be transparent during the time when you do orientation in your recruitment. And it is also recorded in your service contract agreement or MOA, MOU with your partners or with your salesperson. From the start, you need to inform your team ano yung mga taxes na mababawas on their commission, ano yung mga service charges na mababawas on their commission para black and white transparent. Okay? So again, common commission structure, I'm just giving you the idea. Critical policy na dapat with your MOA, with your salesperson, or with your co-broker partners. Let us say, nagbisaya ko. Kailan mabayaran? Kailan ma-release yung commission? Number one, hindi natin alam yung bawat developer may kanya-kanyang schedule ng commission releasing. Developer A, monthly. Developer B, quarterly. Developer C, every 6 months. Developer D, milestone upon hitting 5%, upon hitting 15%, upon hitting 20%. May iba bang developer na may retention? So, sa atin lang, you need to make sure na we release the commission. Like in my office, whatever collected this week, first week, from Monday to Saturday, deposited on Monday, released on Friday. So whatever collected in the first week, releasing is on the second week, Friday. Whatever collection on second week, releasing on Friday, third week. So akin lang po yun. Policy ko yun. So you can also create your own policy, no? Para for your office. Dapat lang i-cleared muna yung collection commission bago kayo mag-process ng commission voucher sa mga partners nyo at saka mga associate agents nyo. Now, ano naman tong holdback or chargeback? Minsan, may mga developer, hindi naman lahat, may mga developer na nagbigay ng cash advance. Tsaka, later on, nag-cancel pala yung client natin. So, what is the policy pag sinabi ng developer, bawas ko yung 20,000 cash advance kasi nag-cancel si client, hindi nagtuloy. So, dapat alam ng salesperson mo na it will deducted to the future receivable. So, you must have a policy for that. So, next, team deals. Define lead ownership, split roles, and managers override. So, let us say nag-recruit ka ngayon. Entry level ng RESP mo is 2.5. Dapat alam niya sino may manager, may upline ba siya na 3.5 para alam niya na yung nag-recruit sa kanya na senior manager na 3.5 nag-override ng 1% kasi 3.5 minus 2.5. Dapat ano naman yung role, trabaho ng senior manager in terms of supervising, guidance, and everything, no? Being the sponsoring also upline. Ano naman ang role ng broker nila? Kasi sa opisina namin, GPP kami. So we have around 21 brokers. Under the 21 brokers, may kanya-kanya kaming SD managers sa baba. So, anong role ng mga brokers? So dapat it must be properly defined also. Okay? Documentation required. So, if you allow your salesperson do also on the brokerage, dapat sa training nyo, define properly also yung mga documentations, no? Like authority, kung ano pa yon. So, ibang topic yan na with the due diligence, no? So, dapat yung mga, pag nag-release ng commission, ano yung form 2307, ano yung mababawas sa kanya, dapat, so, you can invite your licensed accountant to discuss that, especially in the November or December of the year. Para on the first 2 weeks ng January, di ba, ano sila ng sworn statement. At least, yung bookkeeper accountant nyo can handle the bookkeeping, the filing of your partners and associates. Dapat on the first week pa lang ng January, ready na lahat yung sworn statement nila. Are they less than 250,000 para walang mabawas sa withholding on their 2026 income? Or are they 250,000 above but less than 3 million para 5% lang yung withholding nila? Or are they in 3 million above para 10%? So, dapat it must be facilitated properly in advance on December by your bookkeeper and accountant, isa-isa yung mga partners nyo para clear lahat, no? Okay. So, come up with a strong commission policy and co-broker protocol and others on your team para what's important here in your policy sa opisina, it is black and white. Okay? Next tayo. Common problems and how to prevent. Okay. Number 1 is unclear commission rules. So, create a written policy, use cover sheet signed by also you need to, from the start on recruitment pa lang, dapat black and white ka na sa commission ladder mo. Kasi yung iba, ahente, hindi nila alam na ganito pala, sinabi kagad ng ano, oh, ang dami ng bawas sa akin. Okay, halimbawa, is VAT part of commission? The 12% VAT, is it part of the commission? In your commission, there is what we call input VAT. So bago ka mag-share ng commission, dapat ilabas mo muna si VAT bago ka mag-sharing. Ngayon, nag-withhold ka sa kanya ng 10%. Ngayon, nagbawas ka sa kanya ng 10% service charge of your office. Ang iniisip ng ibang ahente dyan, ng ibang partners mo, allow me to use layman's term lang ha, wow, ang laki naman ng binawas ng office Sam. 12%, 10%, 10%, 32%. Hindi niya alam because hindi mo in-explain. Dapat from the start, on the entry level pa lang, hindi pa nagsimulang kumita yung broker mo, yung RESP mo, lay out sample computation sheets, mag-generate ka ng simulation sample commission, mag-generate ka ng sample voucher. Ano yung mga sample na inapakita mo? Dapat pakita mo doon yung 12% VAT, it's not a commission. It's an input VAT na dapat mong i-out bago mag-sharing. Yung withholding based on 0, 5, or 10 is your pre-tax to BIR. Your office is giving a Form 2307. It's an advance tax paid to the BIR in the account and number of your brokers or your RESP. So that not money goes to the office. It's money goes to the BIR paid in advance in favor to your salesperson TIN number. So ano yung pumasok sa opisina is only the extra 10% service charge para tulong sa expenses sa opisina for the monthly and the annual expenses. So you need to be transparent and explain to them properly. Now, careful in my experience, there are also developer na hindi nagaano ng input VAT. You are VAT receipt already. Kung talagang seryoso ka sa negosyo, madali lang yung 3 million gross invoice. So you can automatically be upgraded into VAT. So but maraming developer, yung 5% commission, wala silang binigay na input VAT because yung 5% is inclusive of VAT already. So kung if you compute that one, your commission is inclusive of VAT. So it's not really 5% your commission. Because you as an office or realty firm or brokerage office, you need to remove the VAT before sharing. But if you don't know how to explain that to your salesperson or ESP, away dating nyo dyan. Kasi they will do their own math, lalo na pag malaki na ang pera commission. I experience an agent's salesperson ko na hindi siya nagreklamo ng 50,000 commission. Nung kumuha kami ng more or almost $500,000 commission, biglang reklamo siya. Ang laki naman ng bawas. Prorata naman yan eh. Percentage yan. Walang nagbago. So, ayun, no? So, you need to be klaro for that. Next is mishandled earnest money reservation, no? So, which is for the, this is for the, ano, no? For the, let us say, for the brokerage or reservation. Sa developer naman, malinis directly yan. So, importante lang dito pagdating sa developer, the money must be paid in account payable for the developer. Iwas tayo yung agents natin ang tumatanggap ng pera, silang nag-acknowledgement. Iwas tayo dyan. As much possible, if it's check payable to the account of the developer. If it is cash, must be deposited to the developer. Yun talaga, no? So, serious guidance talaga of the brokerage or the broker. Okay? Next is late or incorrect BIR compliance. So, tayo broker, we need to hire a knowledgeable real estate accountant, a knowledgeable real estate bookkeeper. Okay lang, start ka, nagtipid ka, hire a bookkeeper, not a licensed accountant, But question, ask kung may track record na yung bookkeeper mo in handling the same entity like you. Kasi iba si real estate, iba-iba yan, no? Lalo na pag filing, iba yan. So, I myself, I experience dalawang palit na. So, I advise you to double check. Kumbaga, tanungin mo, ask explanation for your, kumbaga, mas maganda, license accountant ka na lang diretso para isa na, no? Kasi pag bookkeeper, pag may problema, kukuha din yan ng license accountant, especially in the annual filing, kukuha din sila ng license accountant for the for the signature. So it's better to hire one na lang. Next, OTS or authority. So we discussed that previous Tuesday. So dapat in your office, you have that standard form with warranties, fold over close, commission acknowledgement. Okay, we discussed that already last time. Okay, dito tayo sa aging, no? Agents, poaching or conflict, non-solicitation language, central CRM. So how to, kumbaga yung agawan ng buyer, etc., nag-aaway yung ahente kasi buyer daw niya. So dapat meron kayong strict policy on that. Lalo na pag nag-exhibit, dalawang ahente mo nagka-manning, no? You come up with a good policy on the manning. Let's say, in my office, meron tayong online. So sino yung naka-duty on that day? Leads goes to the office, goes to that duty officer of the day or agents of the day, no? So you come up with a good policy. So minsan naman di naiwasan na si buyer nagtanong, this is a good problem. Nagtanong, nag-inquire kay salesperson A mo. Nagtanong naman siya sa ibang website, Facebook, social media, kay salesperson B mo. Ngayon, both of these two in-house salesperson mo registered the client. So, sino ang i-honor mo ngayon? Si A or si B? You come up with a good policy. Whoever come first or whoever bring the bacon or ganun, no? Sino talaga? So, you come up with a policy for that. Next. Common problem. Misclassification of worker. Okay? If you treat salesperson like employee, pinapa-duty mo, etc., or otherwise you control, you make sure that there's a clear independent contractor terms. Kumbaga, no employee-employer relationship, no? So, need to clarify that from the start with your salesperson. Tsaka, GPP kami. I experienced that. That's why I changed the brand na associate broker. Kasi nagkaroon ako ng dati para maganda pakinggan, broker partner. Pero inisip ng isang broker partner ko na may share sa kita ng opisina, ng dividend, everything. Sabi ko, terminology gamit natin noon, but definition natin, you are not co-owner of the firm. So you only get whatever your effort base, no? So it's not you So that's why pwede ba palitan na lang associate kasi kasi pag sinabing partner dapat kita. But as long you define the definition properly with your partners or your associate, alam nila, no? Kasi mahirap naman na akala nila owner sila but hindi sila share pag lugi ang negosyo pero pag profit negosyo hingi sila ng profit. So na yan, need to be black and white especially in the definition of terms. Now next question is the data privacy. And then KYC is know your client, no? So I experience also na salesperson ko ayaw magbigay ng record from the developer na mga buyer information sheets, computation sheets, yung mga requirements, etc. Kasi client daw nila yon. Sabi ko, hindi. You're working under the supervision, under the license of your broker, which is me. And that agreement with the developer is between the developer and the brokerage firm. You're an extension under my supervision. Whoever your client under my realty firm, it's a client of the firm. So dapat you submit all that data. So you need to be clear all those things from the start. Kasi mahirap na, kasi I really experienced na my salesperson ako, ayaw talaga niya ibigay yung all information related to the client. Okay? So you need to clear for that. Kasi yung salesperson natin, minsan, hindi lang minsan, majority, umaalis din yan. Kasi nagmo-moonlight sa ibang broker kasi may nag-offer na doon ng 4%. Eh siya dito nasa 3% pa lang. So we experience all those things, no? Sabi ko nga, if I focus on the brokerage and resale market, I strongly develop my broker network because at least our profession as a broker, we're forever. But yung relationship natin sa mga salesperson natin, a little bit challenged talaga. I will explain to you. I see a lot of very successful broker. Maside ano lang muna tayo ha. During my term when I served the national level, dami kong nakita on the macro level ng mga brokerage network, yung mga maraming salesperson before pandemic and everything. How many cycles, gano'n, no? Up and down. There are time dumami ang ahente, bumaba ang ahente, dumami naman, bumaba naman. Hanggang sa, ba't hindi ka na nag-recruit? Sam, 20 years ago, nandun, kabataan ko, I'm so energetic. But now, pagod na tayo. So, even in Cebu, I interview one of the senior in practice. During his prime, he opened more than 10 sales network offices of salesperson. He is so strong with the Santa Lucia project in the Visayas Mindanao network. And then, sabi ko, itong yung mga second level, yung mga malaki naming realty office ngayon, dati pa niya mga ahente na yan. Ito naman mga second level na mga realty office ko ngayon, nakita ko, bigla na rin nag-slow down. Kasi nga, experience, alam ko meron ka kung in-invite dito ng mga salesperson. Tsaka yung mga aspiring to become accredited salesperson, I invited them also. This is human greed, no? And the time you join a realty firm, it is so transparent, your entry level. Kahit naman magtrabaho tayo, there is what we call measurable KPI for your success, for your career promotion. Kaso nga lang, hindi pa niya na-hit yung career requirements for a promotion from entry of 2.5 to become 3.5, eh may nag-pirate na broker B. Lipat ka dito. I give you 4. Temptation come in. Meron pa ako na experience na salesperson ko, ginawa ko focus team kay developer C. Again ha, developer C. Nagiging top 3 pa kami in terms of annual sales kay developer C. But next year, yung salesperson ko, na team leader ko with developer C, ginawang in-house director ng ni developer C with salary na very promising, with commission, tsaka with overriding. Nag-manage pa siya ngayon ng mga sales consultant or property consultant or property specialist na may allowance din. So imagine, that person I train, I nurtured for the next 5 years, umalis because pinirate ng broker, pinirate ng developer. And then, there's also good story. Yung iba naman, Sam, you're our idol. So we want to be like you. Okay, thank you. You refer them. Hindi mo talaga maiwasan yung career path. Talagang career growth, normal yan eh. Pati nga anak natin, iiwan tayo kasi they go settle down with marriage, no? So it's normal to the person to aim high. Especially, na-idolize nila si broker B, si broker C, gano'n, no? So ang point lang natin here, we need to be smart in terms of working for long term. Okay? So let's continue. Developer chargeback, over-dependence one project. Okay, itong over-dependence in one project. Pag over-dependence ka in one developer, pero that developer alone, it's my 2,000 hectares development, for the next 20 years, hindi ka maubusan ng inventory, that's very good. no? Katulad ni isang project dyan sa Cavite na super 2,000 hectare, no? Si Sir Belly, no? Isang developer but buhay na buhay because for the next 20 years, hindi pa maubusan ng inventory. Pero if you're partnering with a developer na very, very limited inventory, then pinapapokus mo yung team mo doon na 10 salesperson na wala masyadong maibenta, paulit-ulit, pinapaubos na lang. Dapat you need to always be sensitive on that para mabigyan mo kaagad ng bagong project na hahawakan yung mga salesperson mo. Kasi wala silang salary, they are into commission base. Maliban na lang pag binibigyan sila ng parang in-house allowance ng developer. Lastly, also the cash flow gap. So you need to monitor, dapat alam ng ahente mo kailan yung cash flow niya, receivable niya. Kasi pag palaging away ito ha, benta pa lang ngayon ni Angie. Next month, kuha commission. Hindi niya alam na yung commission receivable 6 months from now. Dapat, salesperson, turuan mo sila, pag nagpasok na sila ng benta with all the BIS computations, all the requirements of the client, kasama doon, let's say, 8.5 million benta. Hindi naman 5% based sa 8.5. May mga tinatawag tayo diyang mga, tinatanggal yung mga miscellaneous fees, tinatanggal yung VAT, doon na tayo sa unit price nagbe-base. So, dapat humingi tayo ng computation from the developer. Magkano ba ang commissionable namin figure for this sales? Ano ba ang milestone? Is it monthly, quarterly, biannual, or is it by milestone? So you ask it, kasama yan para when you submit it to your realty office, alam ng realty office collection department, tsaka ikaw broker, ikaw director, ikaw manager na kabenta, alam nyo lahat kailan kayo magkakaroon ng pera. Dapat very transparent. Okay, we continue on that. Uy, mga yung nagsusulat sa wall ko, paiwas lang ha, para hindi madumi yung wall natin. Okay, so ito next, marami to. Very challenging to ha. Common problems with agents and how to prevent them. Let's go number 1. Agent lady, example, pinapirate. Agent transfer to other firm. Agents are lured by other brokers offering better deals. Nabanggit ko na to kanina. So paano maiwasan? Dapat you need to have a clear career growth program, mentoring, leadership, tracking, no? Dapat very clear, transparent, black and white ka sa commission structure mo from the start. Ano yung mga binabawas, dapat transparent. Build a strong culture of belonging, recognition. Hindi lang puro trabaho, hindi lang puro pera-pera. Dapat you need to build banding, outings with your salespeople, with your team. Kumbaga, buhay pamilya, you go outing, you go travel, hindi boring masyado, puro pera-pera, no? Conduct regular one-on-one check to align your agent's goal. Kasi karamihan ng mga ahente, when they come in, they have specific reason. Then na-achieve na nila yung reason. What's next? What's next? What's next? So you need to be, dyan. And then provide agents marketing and landing website emails. You equip your agents with kumbaga, trending. Na ngayon? You need to train, provide them advance. You need to always cope up. Kasi kung ikaw din, brokerage firm, tulog, naiiwan ka na, pati yung ahente mo, wala ka nang maibibigay na bago, aalis yan. They will be, ang baga, maganda doon, very aggressive sa marketing, very aggressive, binibigyan sila ng mga tools for their marketing, for their training, and etc. etc. So you need to, mamaya we discuss that, especially the providing agents with individual marketing and landing website and emails for their own branding. Kasi hindi lang naman broker nagba-branding, pati ahente, nakakatulong yan sa marketing nila, yung branding nila. Number 2, common problem ng mga ahente, commission. Commission. Kailan ba labas commission namin? Kailan ba? Bakit ba ginamit nyo muna commission? Bakit ba ganito, ganito? Daming away. Hindi lang yan sa Cebu, Davao, Manila, etc. Problem, delayed, inaccurate, dispute commission. Binanggit na natin yun kanina. Prevention. So you need to have implement a centralized commission tracking. You need to, pag maliit pa, pwede Excel yan. Pag lumaki ka na, you need to have brokerage software, accounting software. Meron kami, but maybe in the future topic natin yan, no? So, dapat releasing schedule, alam ng ahente mo. Di ba, binanggit natin kanina. Para hindi sila tatawag-tawag, broker A, kailan ba release commission ko? Broker A, broker A. Ba't ka ba tawag ng tawag monthly? Ang due date ng commission mo is December pa. Ang layo pa, July pa tayo ngayon. So, at least alam ng ahente. No? Oh, broker A, bakit daming bawas? Bakit ganito? From the start, from the orientation, from the signing of your MOA, with Annex A is the computation sample na in-explain mo ano yung mga taxation, bawas, transparent para from the start alam na nila. Okay? Maintain transparency. Bottom line is all about transparency. As I said in our office, what we do for a simple, I'll share it to you para iwas away, no? Because I travel it also in Bacolod. One of our broker there na experience din niya. Sabi ko, this is a partnership. Your salesperson and you is a partnership. Bakit ka mag-hire ng additional tao just for a collection agency mo kung marami? Imagine, you're a small brokerage. May benta ka 10 average per month. Times 12. That is 120 accounts in a year. May monthly, may quarterly, may biannual, may milestone. Do you think your office secretary kayang i-monitor, i-ano yan? For a small office ka pa, you cannot afford pa ng mga software, etc., etc. Mahihilo ka. Why not ask help from your team? Because this is partnership. If I partner with Ronnie as my director, dapat magtrabaho din si Ronnie. Dapat alam din niya kailan mag-due. So, in my office, my team leader, in part of our Excel and our software, they monitor also. In the last month, we inform them ano yung commissionable for the, let's say, July. Binigay namin ano yung due commissionable on August. And it is my team leader who do follow-up. So on my office, I allow my team leader, yung mga VP ko, mga brokers ko, yung mga sales director ko, I allow them to do the follow-up with the developer. So do the collection. So pag may check collection na, they call my office, get the invoice, and bring it to the developer and bring back the check para ma-deposit for that cut-off week. So, di ba, remember I mentioned cut-off week, Monday to Saturday. Whatever collection pops up on that week, first week, next week, Friday, release. So, hindi ka kukulitin ng mga agents mo because sila mismo alam nila pag may collection o wala. Kasi sila mismo ang nangongolekta. As long as you lay down that collaboration from the start, iwas away pagdating sa commission at saka monitoring. Next, ito, magandang topic to. Moonlighting. Full moon pa naman. Okay, moonlighting. Agents working with other real estate businesses. Nag-recruit ka so hard with Ashley. Out of 100, Pareto principle, 20 will deliver sales. Out of the 20, another 5 will only career growth. Because agents equity sell for other firms project without broker knowledge. Kasi dito 3% siya, doon binigyan siya 4 or 4.5. Remember my story, 4%, binigyan siya ng 4.5 sa kabilang brokerage firm. Inilipat niya doon yung benta, nag-resign siya, nag-apply siya doon. Prevention, how? Clear exclusive policy contract. So, it must be clear on your MOA, on your service contract, ano yung mga penalties and terminations nyo, no? Allow ko, it must be very, sa policy ko, sa opisina ko, one strike policy. Pag nahuli ka, nag-moonlighting ka without the knowledge of the brokerage firm, especially me as the managing broker, one strike policy, tanggal ka. Okay? So, depende yan sa policy nyo. So, para maiwas-iwas, you let them know huwag ka nang magtago. Total, allowed naman tayo to do co-brokering. So yung mga salesperson ko, which is we train them to do in project selling, we also allow them to do resale market. But since entry level hindi sila marunong, we allow them for what we call referral program. Because we want them to focus on the projects. But since hindi ibang appetite itong brokerage, due diligence, and etc. So, para walang away, co-broker lang tayo. Referral program lang kayo. Refer to us, especially my department to handle the brokerage department, and then we give you referral fee. So, ganun ka-simple, no? Para tuloy-tuloy ang ligaya. Hindi nagbabato sa kabilang bakod. Provide in-house project options so agents don't feel the need to look elsewhere. So again, kumbaga, create a healthy environment for them to earn more, not only on projects, but also in rental leasing, in brokerage, in ROPA, no? You create a program in your office. Tsaka yung career growth talaga nila. Tsaka you strengthen yung relationship para tools, para maiwas nila. Kumbaga, maliit lang naman yung difference. Explain to them that if they're helping the office, more office can give back to them. Ito, dapat very clear sa inyo. Do you offer cash advance or loans to your associates or to your brokers? It must be clear. Sa akin, in my early practice, umabot yung cash advance ko ng 500,000 sa mga ahente ko. Then, pay enabled pag-collect na ang commission. Pagdating sa milestone, biglang 2 months before collection na, biglang nag-pull out, nag-default si client. So, walang commission na collect. Ayaw naman mag-prorata si developer. Walang pangbayad si salesperson. Tabla, pusoy, si broker. Kung walang commission collection, wala ding income si broker. Kung nagpapaloan ka, nagpapakas advance ka, si broker tuloy ang nangungutang para may maibigay kay salesperson. Kawawa si broker. Dapat strict policy ka. In my office, no cash advance. But meron kaming loan office department. So, which is in Cebu, we have what we call Society of Cebu Multipurpose Cooperative. So more than 20 years ago, I think, more than 10 years ago, we created this cooperative among brokers para doon mangutang yung mga brokers saka yung mga ahente namin pang-emergency, no? For 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years to pay. At very minimal rate, 1%, 1.5%. So ginawa namin yan para hindi manghiram sa broker, dun manghiram sa lending company, cooperative namin. So may patronage saka may dividend pa yung... So nagiging member pa yung mga ahente namin doon. Okay, so you must have a strict loan policy for that. Again, pag hindi nyo iniwasan to, away talaga to. Problema ito ng mga broker. Okay, high turnover, short-term mentality. Okay, problem. Many agents treat real estate as temporary work. Tama naman, no? Offer long-term incentives plan, profit sharing, retirement saving, insurance coverage. Highlight career pathway from salesperson, senior management partner to a broker. So gawin natin yan. In my office, meron kaming program na pag maganda talaga, kung gusto talaga nila magiging broker, we offer them to be, kumbaga, scholar with a BSREM as long they maintain that sales target the year, kami magbayad for the tuition fee. Pag hindi nila mahit, silang magbayad. Okay? So, dapat may career growth. Kumbaga, accepted na natin na let's create, work them to be our broker partner. Okay? So, dapat lang then long-term incentives program, profit sharing, everything. So, in our office, we also have what we call, other than the government benefits, we also have our private HMO. So, kanya-kanyang diskarte para ma-hold natin yung salesperson. Huwag lang magpa-abuse, no? Iba naman yung being abused. Okay? Let's continue. Lack of consistent prospecting. Agent wait for walk-in or leads from the broker instead of actively doing prospecting. Enforce minimum activity quota. Provide weekly accountable, trained digital leads. Okay. tama ito minsan kasi alam natin partners lang sila. Sometimes they're doing only side hustles. So kami, if you're doing sideline lang, huwag ka nang mag-ano kasi may control, limited naman na yung license natin bawat broker to 20 lang RESP, di ba? So yung mga pa-part-time, time side hustle, nagre-refer lang, enroll them to your partner program, yung referral program. Yung talagang actively doing online marketing, na willing to accept for the sales quota kasi mahirap naman wala tayong sales quota being RESP, no? Tulog tayo. Yun ang i-RESP natin with the PRC because we have a limited per broker to 20. So be consistent, transparent to that. So you need to provide sa amin, we have a face-to-face meeting every Monday. We have our own Zoom meeting twice a week on top of that face-to-face every Monday. So yung Zoom meeting, one is recruitment, another one is the weekly training. So we have that in our office. So you come up also in your own office. Kasi pag ikaw broker, hindi ka na nakikita ng mga salesperson mo, parang super lamig. Di ba? Imagine yung hindi mo nakikita partner mo, long distance relationship, di ba malamig? So we need relationship also with the broker and the RESP dapat. How can you supervise yung RESP mo kung hindi ka nakikita? Kahit man lang online. So we do it that, no? Even though I aggressively monitor my team leader, but I always find a way na once a month I can meet them face to, oh, not once a month, once a week I can meet them face to face. Maliban lang talagang pag may client call tayo. But never na hindi ko sila ma-meet in a month time. At least minimum 2 or 3. But in a Zoom, once a week. Just like what we're doing now, di ba? Oo. So we also provide our team with our platform training digital because kailangan talaga kumita. For what reason Angie is joining Sola, Samuel Olaw and Associates? In 6 months, zero sales si Angie. If Angie is giving 100% her effort pero walang benta, wala. The question ngayon, meron ka bang binigay ng mga training, mentoring, guidance, action plan, things to do, blueprint with your RESP? If you give that everything, then si Angie ang walang ginawa, tulog. Kumbaga, learning. Just like now, I am sharing you, nakinig kayo, labas naman sa kabila. Then, no execution. Wala. Even I'm sharing a lot of my knowledge, become your lifetime learnings, but if you don't execute, it's nothing. The same thing with our salesperson, no? So dapat it takes two to tango to dance it properly. So we need to provide them the tools and the guidance and the, kumbaga, tulak, no? Para bumenta talaga. Ito naman, compliance issue. Some agents operate without PRC, violate our RESL law. Create a system for close monitoring. Kasi if you really want to grow your business, you need to closely monitor your team leader. Because like me, I monitor my broker, my associate broker, our license. In my office, I have around 21. So I monitor them properly to monitor their individual RESP. Kasi ngayon, buti nga si PRC, di ba, ni-required na yung presence ni broker to in the PRC in registering their RESP. Di ba? So, we appreciate that monitoring para wala ng multiple RESP. Okay? So, here, we provide guidance. We provide the templates in your office. Kumbaga, I appreciate our partners in Pared and Rebap and RIA. By the way, kung every time you have a CPD, hindi naman tayo lahat nagkakandak ng CPD. I myself, I'm not conducting. So please share to us because we repost all this CPD program for renewal of the brokers, for renewal of the salesperson, or especially those for the new salesperson CPD. Very, very important yan. So please share to me and I help promote every time you have your own CPD for free. I'll promote it. Okay, kailangan talaga for compliance. Especially for the brokers, AMLA. Super hirap, alam natin yan. So, in our team, kasi meron tayong law firm, yung pamangkin ko, they handle our AMLA. officers, so they also assist all our brokers, no? And even yun ang din pinapafocus ko sa brother ko para to assist all our partners processing their AMLA. Okay, for kumbaga, you need to provide a system for your office for the compliance, and you ask the copy. You file it in your office para pag nagbisita doon yung mga kaibigan natin from the PRB Res, nandoon lang, no? Kasi hinahanap nila yan, honestly. Next tayo. Conflict of interest and ethical practice. Agent may undercut fellow teammates, misrepresent listing, or bypass the broker. So establish a strong ethics of and conduct within your realty office. Impose penalties for misrepresentation and direct dealings. Promote team-based incentive instead of purely individual. So I myself, in my team, meron nakafocus ni project ni developer A. So iba naman developer C. I allow them a referral program kasi we need to do that focus, no? But again, they also do moonlighting in brokers. Kasi minsan nag-exhibit ka, katulad ng anak ko ngayon, nag-exhibit sa mall. Specific Mandani Bay yung flyers niya. Eh yung kausap niyang client, instead na nagtatanong about Mandani, tinanong, can you help me market? Ibebenta ko yung condo ko. Hindi naman Mandani na condo. It's another condo. Kumbaga, resale market. So, binigay niya, nirefer niya sa akin. So, ako na ngayon tumawag sa property owner to be listed in our realty office, yung, kumbaga, for sale by owner, no? So, we allow to our salesperson network to do referral to the secondary market. And my department who handle the secondary market, we do the lead, no? But of course, with a strong communication, collaboration with the referrer. So, how? Sample. Salesperson A nag-refer sa akin, yung pinsan niya may pinapabenta na bahay or may bibilhin na bahay under the brokerage. So, sabi ko sa salesperson ko, you create a group chat. From that group chat, I engage as the broker. Ako na ngayon magtatanong and everything up to. Para, why? Para transparency. Para alam naman ng nag-refer. Did we manage? Did we entertain? Did we hanggang saan na tayo? No? Para hindi naman sabihin nila na binaypass, na wala, na close deal na natin, binigyan ng commission or referral fee, whatever, no? So, dapat transparency. Next is burnout, very common. Motivational drop, motivation, nawala ng gana si ahente. Agent lost drive, repeated rejection. Or ghost month, walang benta. Buti na lang itong ghost month, one of our good sales, no? Congratulations to my team, project selling. Scheduled regular motivational training and mentoring. Recognize small wins publicly, top agents and weekly, monthly. Encourage personal development beyond sales like health, mindset, finance. So very important talaga, you create a system of training, mentoring, motivation with your agents. Like, again, I mentioned earlier in my office, in my brokerage firm, I do at least every Monday a face-to-face meeting with my team. I do 2 Zoom meeting face-to-face like this for special training. Talagang hindi yung talagang special training to help them grow also. On the personal, we do personal training, we do financial management training. We also invite people to do health and mindset training, no? So you need to have, kasi hindi lang puro pera, hindi lang puro na, sabi nga ng isang ahente, ni-recruit siya, pumasok siya sa isang developer, akala niya, the developer have a training program. And the developer always kulit-kulit for the quota kasi palapit na daw matapos yung 3 months niya, hindi pa niya na-hit yung quota, 0 sales pa. Sabi nga niya, I'm new, pero wala mas lang ginawang after the tinanggap na siya as an in-house, ang ginawa lang is PKS, sample computation, company profile, etc., site tour. Walang other training. Bago siya. So again, very important, no, to provide. Kaya nga ibang brokers had to say na ma-migrate sila sa mga brokerage firm na very aggressive on training, which I experienced that on my own. No? Sorry to say, may natatamaan ako kung nandito siya or wala siya dito, but several of my trained salesperson pinapirate ng ibang mga Cebuano colleague brokers din natin, no? But again, that's part of the industry practice. It's a challenge for me, ginawa kong challenge for me to strengthen my relationship, my training, na if you go out, it's your loss. Okay? Okay, thank you. Next, no real-time inventories. Very big problem. Tatawagan ni Angie. Ay, Arceli, broker Arceli, I need update of B residences. May client ako. Wala, si broker na ngayon, saan ba kukuha? Tatawagan niya yung developer, gabi ngayon. No? Daming mga ahente natin, kukulitin tayo kasi tayo ngayong upline, di ba? Oy, kumusta na? Oy, by the way, anong update? Meron pa bang one studio unit doon sa SMDC dito? Gold? Ganun, ganun. Daming question, ganoon. So if you brokerage firm, wala kang system of monitoring your inventory for AC access, real-time access, 24/7 access of your salesperson, sooner or later, other brokerage firm will have that one. Lilipat yan because they provide proper tools for marketing, training for marketing, real-time, 24/7, internet footprints. So again, to avoid agent lost drive with no real-time project listing, you create system para real-time nilang makikita yung brokerage, yung list projects, yung resell, your rentals, at iba pa. Para real-time, they can do marketing and landing website. In our office, we provide marketing and landing website to all our brokers and real estate salesperson. And they can do their own branding also. Kumbaga, it adds up on their integrity. Like for example, Angie will have her own marketing website na pwede na niyang ilagay sa business card niya, email signature niya, or you can tell the client, hello, Flor, please visit asaproperties.com. Pagtingin doon, nandoon na yung mga brokerage, nandoon na yung mga projects ng SMDC, ng Shang Property and everything, so on so forth, posted by my staff. So, sabihin niya kay Flor, mag-shopping ka lang dyan, Flor, let me know anong magustuhan mo. So, it adds up the branding of Angie na nandoon yung logo, company natin, nandoon yung pangalan ni Angie, di ba? Pag abot niya, it adds the integrity, eligibility ni Angie na ano talaga siya, no? Tsaka, it's easy for her now to do marketing kasi may for social media and everything. So, for this one, you need to subscribe. Marami dyan, no? Mga realty system, yung mga ready-to-use website or magpagawa ka ng website sa mga kakilala mong programmer, no? Ang dami na dyan. May AI na ngayon na madali na. Okay? On our program naman, meron kaming what we call yung, if you attended few Tuesday, meron tayong PHMLS website. It's a ready-to-use website, just like other provider. We have also ready-to-use website, which being a practicing for 16 years, we've been doing it for the last 10 years na by our colleagues. We own our own IT company. That ready-to-use website, we have a package, no? One principal website and 20 subdomain website, total of 21 emails also. This is for the realty office yung gustong mag-practice ng brokerage network with salesperson. I'll show you next. So ano to? How PHMLSnet SaaS system helps broker set up and scale up their firm, their realty firm or realty office or brokerage office. So ito yung system natin. But again, you can tap your friends or other system mga available in the industry, but allow me to share also what we have. Number one, this SaaS system, it's an all-in-one realty system. The PHMLS.net provides a complete digital backbone for your brokerage office. Instead of juggling different tools, you get a centralized system that handles your listing, marketing, team management under one platform. Number two, principal brokerage website. Every brokerage is assigned a main company website. Like, for example, you create your own brand, emrealty.com. Kasi EM Realty ang pangalan ng kumpanya mo. That serves as it's your official online presence. This professional site showcase your company profile, available projects, property listings, leasing, brokerage, ROPA, portfolio assets, helping build credibility and trust with your client. On top of this principal website, there is also 20 RESP subdomain site for your team. Kasi di ba isang broker, meron tayong 20. So each broker is allowed up to 20 RESP under RESA law. So gives your RESP team, your agents also will have their own personalized website like juandelacroix.emrealty.com, or if your policy is only the first three letters, so gdc.emrealty.com. So kagandahan dito, lahat ng RESP mo, may sariling website siya na pwede niya pamigay, no? Marketing. Pag nag-visit yung client niya doon, pangalan niya lang ang makikita. Meron pang email. So may website tsaka email. So this empower every agents mo to market independently under your firm's umbrella, under your realty firm umbrella. All subdomains are connected to your principal website, ensuring branding and consistency, and centralized lead capture. Meaning, yung secretary mo, nag-upload siya ngayon ng 5 project ni SMDC. In-upload lang niya sa emrealty.com. Automatic, yung 20 subdomain website ng mga ahente mo, real-time, nandun na rin yung mga 5 new listing ng SMDC. Let us say tomorrow, nag-upload siya ng 10 projects of DMCI. Isang platform principal lang ang minamanage niya as an admin. In real time, anong edit, delete, upload ginawa niya, automatic updated lahat yung 21 website. Tsaka 21 emails, unique email na magagamit ng mga ahente. Like for example, if you have a website, Arceli, for your realty, arcelirealty.com. Binigyan mo ngayon yung ahente mo na si Juan de la Cruz, arcelirealty.com. Binigyan mo din si Juan de la Cruz at arcelirealty.com email. Yun ang ginagamit niya for marketing. Yun ang ginagamit niya for sending email. Do you think aalis si Juan de la Cruz sa'yo? Kasi kung aalis siya, alangan, hindi niya pwedeng dalhin yung website. Hindi niya pwede dalhin yung email. Kaya, in your policy, when you recruit your salesperson, use our in-house website. Use our in-house email in your business card. Bawal yung personal nyo. On our realty business, only our official website and email. So, that way can hold tight your agents na hindi basta-basta aalis sa inyo. Okay? 4, marketing and landing page. The system come with ready-to-use marketing and landing website. Kasi 21 website pinag-usapan natin dito, no? 1 principal and 20 subdomain. For projects, for rental leasing, for brokerage. These are designed for lead generation and conversion, making it easier for you to run ads, post on social media captured. So, meaning, si Agent Juan de la Cruz, may website siya. Buksan niya itong SMDC, i-promote niya kay social media, Facebook, kay Instagram. Automatic, pag may nag-click doon, goes to the landing website ni Juan de la Cruz. So, this is the digital world. If you don't move forward, maiiwan tayo. Especially, tayo, realty firm, brokerage owner, we need to equip our agents. Kasi, pag hindi natin in-equip yung ahente natin, And we keep on asking, agent, 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 saan na benta nyo? Broker, 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 saan na tools namin? Wala, wala, wala. And you keep asking income, income, income. It born the relationship. No? Aalis yan. Mapapirate yan. Now, number 5. What's the cost for your website, Sam? Okay, you can compare it with your friends. Magpagawa kayo ng bagong website and others or whatever, those mga iba libre. But for us, ready to use, turnkey, in a week, pwede na namin mapatakbo under your realty firm or brokerage office. It's only 3,000 per month. The inclusive for your 3,000 per month, your brokerage enjoy all the above features we mentioned. What is hindi kasama is yung domain name. Kasi domain name is pag-aari ni broker. Let's say, Arceli Realty, bibilhin niya kay GoDaddy. SSL license, bibilhin niya kay GoDaddy. So, hindi kasama yan yung whatever the cost of buying the domain name and the license SSL in GoDaddy. And then, we charge a one-time setup fee of it's 5,000 pesos only. And after 3 to 4 days, up na namin yon. Once nabili na natin kay GoDaddy, tsaka yung domain name, tsaka SSL license, our programmer will work on it for the next 3 to 4 days. So, give us kumbaga, 4 to 5 working days, pag walang masyadong delay, kompleto, matapos namin yan. So, kumbaga, up na yung brokerage website nyo in 5 to 7 working days. And then, our staff can do face-to-face training pag taga Cebu kayo. Pag you're from outside Cebu, we can do online tutorial like this, one-on-one, paano mag-manage, mag-upload, mag-register ng mga agents under your website, no? So, i-train namin yan. So, after paying the domain name and the license and one-time setup, your only cost monthly is only 3,000 per month. Or if you pay it in 1 year advance, 36,000, there's a discount for 2 months, it's only 30,000. Not 35, magiging 30,000 na lang. So compared to building your own custom system, PHMLS offers a cost-effective plug-and-play solution that saves your time and money. So in short, our SaaS help brokers move from being a solo agent to managing a full brokerage firm with digital infrastructure, brand visibility, team empowerment, scalable marketing, all in one system. Why we say scalable? Some, I want 40 agent, I want 60 agent, I want 80 agent because I have several brokers under my firm. The 3,000 is good for 20 subdomain. If you want 40, every 20 it's additional 3,000. So 20, the 3,000 is 20 subdomain. Gawin natin 40, magiging 6,000. Gawin natin 60, magiging 9,000. Kumbaga every 20 subdomain is additional 3,000. So it's scalable. So you can now recruit salesperson for easy expansion because all monitoring is all digital. So for more information sa interested magkaroon ng realty package, just contact message me so I can call you personally para alam ko yung expectation mo then before we onboard. Now, before I end, for those interested also, next Tuesday, we will do this topic. Unlock the power of PHMLS, posting, leads, CRM, for sale by owner in one platform. Discover how PHMLS can help brokers, agents scale their businesses. Learn step by step how to navigate the system. Post listing, captured managed leads, maximize CRM tools, access resource, top info for the for sale by owner opportunity, all in one powerful platforms. Okay? So I think that's all my topic, and allow me to say thank you to everyone for holding and listening. So I hope marami kayong natutunan with my sharing. And if you have some question, let's entertain first the question on the chat box, no?